Welcome to the Undisputed Champ Sports Podcast, where we talk about all things sports. But today, in this special episode, we're going to do a triple threat. We're actually going to do a review and talk about the results of WWE 205 Live, NXT, and NXT UK. If you guys didn't know already, I am your host, Preston, and I'm joined by none other than the one and only Thumbs Up Tommy. Say what's up to the people.
What is up, everybody? This is the one and only Thumbs Up Tommy. This time it's a two-man tag team match here that we're doing with Preston and I. It's not the typical three-man team, but yeah, I am 1/3 of the best podcast under 250 subscribers.
Yeah, absolutely. We're doing a Freebird rule with the Undisputed Championships right now. So Carmine will be here the next time. Now, we're going to start off with the show that comes on first. And that's going to be Tommy's favorite show, the Purple Brand 205 Live. He has the card. We'll run through it. We'll talk about what we like about it, we disliked about whatever matches that happened here. So, Tommy, go ahead and give the people the card.
Right. Well, before I even get started on that, I just want to throw a little disclaimer out there, for anybody who was looking for our weekly reviews for Raw and SmackDown. The guys and I, we decided that it wasn't really worth doing a review for Raw or SmackDown this week because really nothing noteworthy happened other than the Hardys winning the SmackDown Live championships for the tag team division. Other than that, there wasn't much of anything that happened. So we're saving their big reviews for next week when the shakeup happens.
And Lacey Evans punching Becky. I wonder where that's gonna go.
Well, Well, I didn't really consider that noteworthy, but yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's get into 205
she finally did something, y'all. She finally did something. But anyway, going into 205 Live. So we had two matches this week. First match was Humberto Carrillo versus Gentleman Jack Gallagher with Drew Gulak on commentary. Now, the match itself is, if you know anything about Humberto Carrillo and Jack Gallagher, then you can probably picture this match in your head. It's a bit of an exchange back and forth between the high-flying Lucha Libre style and, the technical ground game of Gallagher, which is based off of the British strong style, but he also has a little bit of high-flying too. And, also Carrillo is well-versed in the grappling aspect of pro wrestling as well. So it was a pretty fun match. And, to me, what took it away was the fact, to me, Drew Gulak was gold on commentary. I don't know about you, but that's how I felt.
I agree.
Like, he just made it so much more emphasis on the relationship starting to sour between him and Carrillo. Gee, I wonder why. Like, as if we didn't see that coming, And so definitely, and they started making points of things that happened in Access, during WrestleMania week. Like how Carrillo was actually spending more time with Gallagher as opposed to Gulak, and that they seem to be building more of a camaraderie, a bond between the two.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like little by little. I don't know, but I just felt like for some reason, I guess because WrestleMania is like the end all be all of the year in WWE, and after that, pretty much everything goes into reset to start over for next year's big show. But so I kind of felt like, tonight was Tuesday, was the night to do the turn on from Gulak to Carrillo, which, I knew that partnership wasn't going to last long anyway because Carrillo is a high flyer by nature, so of course he and Gulak are going to bump heads. And the match ended when Gulak decided to insert himself toward the end of the match because Carrillo kept going for high-risk, high-flying moves. And at one point, he actually had Gallagher down, and he was climbing into the top rope. Gulak gets up out of the commentary booth, and he shoves him off of the top rope, so he falls, I think he landed on his shoulder or whatever. Anyway, so after that, he just gets on top of him, MMA style, ground and pound, just wailing on the kid. And then all of a sudden, when he's berating him every single blow, like, didn't I tell you? Like, like when your mom hits you, and for every syllable she hits you.
Mm-hmm.
That was how Gulak was beating Carrillo down, like if he was his child.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I thought that was a great move because Gulak is one of those that you have to. It's like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You have to showcase his physicality because that's where he shines. Case in point, his match with Matt Riddle.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to showcase that in order to book him properly. But in any case, it was great because predictable, yes, but still great to watch. And lo and behold, Jack Gallagher, who calls himself a gentleman, has a shred of honor left, even though he was running with Gulak. So he stops him. Like at one point, Gulak cocks his fist back. I guess he was gonna go for a knockout blow per se or whatever, and Gallagher grabs his hand, turns him around, doesn't say a word, just headbutts him and walks out.
Yeah, this whole thing I think is really, really, really interesting. This is all set up for a great story for Carrillo. I think, in my personal opinion, whatever story they have lined up for against him and Gulak, I think is very interesting. And to see what caused the gentleman Jack Gallagher to turn on Gulak. So that's the interesting part of it all. Like you said, it was a very entertaining match. I can't wait to see where this story goes. Yes. I don't know what the play is for Carrillo. I know at some point they're going to try to push him forward to be that number one face. But with this triangle going on, I don't know if this means that Carrillo and Gallagher is going to team up against Gulak. I don't know. But it'll be an interesting change for Gallagher because he really hasn't been doing anything other than being the lackey of Gulak. And that's pretty much the max of what his character is so far. So I'm just interested to see what happens next.
I'm hoping that they do more with Gallagher because while his character is fairly bland, he's pretty solid in the ring. So I'd like to see him fight more often.
Yeah, he's really solid in the ring. Like people forget that he beat Pete Dunne to get into the cruiserweight qualifying match. So like he's pretty good. He's fought some really good names. So
wait, he beat Pete Dunne when?
Like a long time ago on PWG, I think. No. He beat him in Progress. They had but it was connected with WWE. They had their own cruiserweight qualifier match before the original one, before the Cruiserweight Classic. And Zack Sabre Jr. was in there, and Zack Sabre Jr. got injured. So then not Drew Gulak, but Jack Gallagher replaced him because Zack Sabre Jr. got hurt, and he faced Pete Dunne instead.
Okay. I might have to look that match up.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up.
I believe it's Progress. Anyway, I forgot.
It might have been Evolve.
Yeah. Oh no, it was definitely either Progress or PWG. One of those two.
In any case, yes. So after that, we had a very brief segment backstage with General Manager Drake Maverick, Rockstar Spud, whatever you want to call him, and he had one of our favorite, I guess you could say, steady hands on the Black and Gold brand on NXT, Oni Lorcan, in his office. Mm-hmm. And basically, their conversation was confirming what I figured was going to happen, in that Oni Lorcan is apparently officially moving to 205 Live. And during that segment, Cedric Alexander goes and interrupts the meeting, and he says because he wanted a rematch, he wanted to face Lorcan after he got beat up, a couple of weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And he was saying that he was like, I figured that both of these, I figured you were gonna have a meeting with me too, and it had to do with him, so I figured that I would save you the trouble of having two meetings and just combine them. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the match will set up for next week. I think it is Lorcan versus Alexander again.
Yeah, I don't know how much I really care about that match, but hopefully it's a great match. They're both talented. There's nothing against either one of them in the ring, but I think I've got kind of bored on Alexander to a degree.
You know what's funny? I was gonna say the same thing, that I kind of got bored with Alexander.
Yeah, I mean, because he really hits the same beats every match. I feel like it goes the same speed, and it's not a bad thing. I mean, he's really talented, but once you see him wrestle back to back so much, and get involved in the title match so much. You started to
Exactly.
notice his patterns in each match, and after that, it starts to get less interesting. So hopefully, it's Oni, right, that's going to face him.
Hmm.
Hopefully, he'll
Yeah.
mix it up a little bit to make the actual match be a little bit more interesting than the basic Cedric Alexander match.
Yeah, like I hope that it is more interesting because yeah, we were saying this a few weeks ago when they were doing the tournament, like,
Mm-hmm.
and Cedric's good. It's not that he sucks, it's just that his matches have become beyond predictable.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm one of those people that I hope that people improve and they prove me wrong. So Cedric, prove me wrong, because I don't want to look at this match and be like, oh, I knew this was gonna happen.
Yeah, just mix his style up a little bit. Like make him do a different
Yeah.
style of wrestling just for like one time because Oni Lorcan obviously is hard hitting. So let's see how Cedric could change up his style just a little bit to make it a little bit more interesting than seeing a lumbar check kick out of a pin, suplex kick out of a pin, like
Neuralizer.
neuralizers kick out of a pin. He jumps on the ropes, lands on him, kick out of a pin.
Spanish Fly, kick out.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and even then, the Spanish Fly, I feel like it's starting to become the super kick of wrestling now because it's
Yeah,
starting to get used
yeah,
so
because
much.
yeah, even fucking Charlotte is doing it now.
Yeah, and even in indies, everybody's using that now. So I would hope that they would try to do something different at some point.
Yes, for the love of God, Cedric, I don't want to see you do a Spanish Fly anymore, especially since everybody's doing it.
Yeah, everybody's doing that now. But he's still a good
Next
wrestler.
thing, next thing you know, Matt Riddle's gonna break out a Spanish Fly.
That would be crazy. Like I wouldn't expect.
Yeah,
Well, he can
yeah,
do it.
he's pretty tall, so that'd be interesting to see.
I mean, you saw what happened to Charlotte at WrestleMania when she pulled it. So
Hmm.
yeah.
But yeah, anyway, we digress. So next after that, we had the main event, which was a WrestleMania rematch, which, typically, apparently, rematches are no longer a thing in WWE, but I guess Tony Nese just wanted to prove that, his victory on Sunday was not a fluke.
Hmm.
And honestly, I am glad that this rematch happened because this is the match that we should have gotten at WrestleMania.
Hmm.
A lot better, more drawn out, more action. Like, and it didn't, they gave them a lot of time. That was the thing that drove me over the edge on loving this match because, you and I said it both on Sunday when we were watching the pre-show. Why does the cruiserweight match feel rushed? Like
Hmm.
it's like they're going down, like it's like they're going 200 miles an hour on a list of their greatest hits to get to the point.
Yeah, and I also said too because the match was not bad by no stretch of the imagination, but because of the stage, it fell victim of the stage itself. Now a lot of people would think, well, a good match on WrestleMania, you would think that was great, right? That's a good thing. But when it comes to
Yeah,
205 live matches, especially something for the title, for it to make more of an impact, it would have to be a main event of something somewhere, or even at least on a smaller pay per view because WrestleMania is so stacked with so many things. We saw obviously that
exactly.
match got rushed because of time, and then also it'll get drowned out by so many other matches that we're looking forward to. But like you said, like we got the match
Yeah.
exactly that we were supposed to get, and I was happy about that.
Yes. Oh my God. Like you could like there wasn't up until Nice won the tournament. There wasn't much of a story behind this feud,
Hmm.
but man, and like I said, like to me, like the little backstage segments, like beating each other up backstage and in the performance center, didn't really add much to it to me for me.
Right, I agree.
But this match, they painted the story perfectly in this match.
Absolutely.
And I always tell people, don't sleep on Tony Nese. At least not in the ring anyway. When he's talking, is a different story.
Yeah, I think at least that's something that he probably can improve on. I think he's gotten a little bit better. It's not a lot. He's got a little bit better over time, especially during his thing with
Yeah,
Noam
he
Dar.
has. Yeah, he's not as bland as he used to be. I
But
mean,
he's
he's
not
still
that far
bland,
off.
but
Yeah, he's still
not
playing.
not as bland as before. Like
Yeah.
like I think it was Sunday. He actually cut a halfway decent promo before the match.
Hmm.
Yeah, so like I said, I see you, Tony Nese. Congratulations on winning and maintaining the championship. And like I said, I hope you continue to improve on your mic skills because Lord knows you're going to need them.
Right.
So yeah, just keep doing better. I'm watching.
Absolutely.
Which yeah, and if you didn't catch it by now, niece retained, as I said.
Yeah.
It
Right.
was funny because I remember on 205 I think there was a promo in the back where niece said that uh, I was gonna say Gulak, but Murphy's overconfidence was what was gonna kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, that's what happened because Murphy got overconfident and he tried to do Tony's finisher.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't pan out well for him because Tony blocked it and he hit him with that German to bang his head on the turnbuckle, hit him with his finisher, and that was it.
Wow. Yeah, yeah. I do. Yeah, I do remember that cockiness. That seemed like that was the theme of WrestleMania weekend of people trying
Exactly.
other people's moves.
People being
Um,
overzealous and over cocky,
yeah,
overconfident.
kind of like what Adam Cole was trying to do to Gargano, the fairy tale ending,
Yeah,
and
basically.
yeah, yeah. But pretty good match. Like 205's I repeat it every week. Their last match is usually the best match of the night, and this didn't stop
Yeah.
that tradition from going on.
That's not to say that the first match was trash because it was actually very solid.
Yeah, it was actually pretty solid. It wasn't bad at
Yeah.
all, but it wasn't the best match. Um,
Yeah, like this week, I'm gonna give 205 a solid B.
I'm inclined to agree with you. I'll give them a B. I didn't see anything bad here, like at all. Even the Jack Gallagher match, even though he's great in the ring, I didn't know how I was gonna stretch out or was gonna work out for that match. But I don't want to say surprised because we know he's talented, but I'm happy that we got a solid match out of him and Carrillo, and then the storyline that might build out of this. It looks very interesting, and we got the
Yeah.
WrestleMania match we were supposed to get. So I'm gonna give it a B as well.
Yeah, because usually now on a good week, 205, I usually give them B or B plus. Very rarely do I give them A's, but yeah.
Hmm.
So this was a good week for them. Now, moving on to the American side of the black and gold brand.
Yes.
Yes,
NXT. 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 All right,
yes.
so NXT. So once again, Tommy has the card for that, and we're gonna go off of that once again. I don't know if I need to tell you guys this again, but
Yeah. So low key, did you peep the new intro for NXT this week?
hmm.
You saw that they had like a new intro. I'm not sure if it was just
Yeah, it was
takeover related, but they showed a new intro.
yeah, Slipknot made that intro.
I like it.
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
like it.
good.
It's pretty cool. But I'm not gonna lie, I like the other one better. But yeah, I'm sure this one will grow on me. But yeah, because it's not bad at all by any means, by any stretch of the imagination. So yes, going forward. So they had, for anybody who's not familiar, which if you watch NXT, you should be by now,
Hmm.
the NXT taping that occurs the week after a takeover is basically whatever matches were filmed that night of the takeover before takeover actually started. So that's why they said that they were in Brooklyn.
Hmm.
So without much, there's not much action going on. Like and this week there actually is. Sometimes there's maybe one match, maybe two.
Hmm.
But yeah, yeah. Sometimes it's one, maybe two matches, but this time we got three matches and three pretty solid matches. Anyway, so the first match we had Mrs. Johnny Takeover, aka Candice LeRae,
Hmm.
versus Aaliyah. Now, before anybody thinks, "Wow, Tommy's a hypocrite because he said three great matches and Aaliyah's involved in one of them," well, let me tell you this: Miss LeRae did exactly what she needed to do to make Aaliyah shine.
Hmm.
Because like I said, like anybody who's listened to me, when I talk about Aaliyah and it's like it's usually bad. She was actually solid here, and like I said, it just furthers what I always say. It takes two to tango. So, if you know, you even especially if you're someone that just hasn't quite hit their stride yet as a pro wrestler, then you definitely need a great dance partner per se in order to have a great match, and Candice LeRae more than met that requirement.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that you did say that. I wasn't going to mention it, but since you brought it up, yeah, I was surprised by that. I mean, we all know Aaliyah's been there for a long time, and we made fun of her about being super green. But I will say this: I am happy for her, um, to the degree where she stuck it out to this point. That she's still like she's not leaps and bounds better than a lot of people there, obviously, but she's working harder and harder. You know, it's kind of apparent to me now
She's
how hard she's
trying.
working. Yeah, her and I'm glad that her and Vanessa Bourne has a team because they finally both have something to do. So I think for some people, you never know how good they'll be until they have an opportunity to prove it. So hopefully this team will pan out to something and to let us see what Vanessa Bourne and Aaliyah has in store. They may surprise us with a great match at some takeover at some point in the future. You never know. But for right now, like you said, Candice pretty much held that match all together. I mean, she's great.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
Yeah, no, she's amazing. But in any case, yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you. I feel like this is a good move for Aaliyah
Mm-hmm.
because, sometimes, a pro wrestler just can't cut it as a singles competitor, but they're excellent in a tag team, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. There's nothing wrong with being a tag team specialist, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there's plenty to do in a tag team, and as far as these two, I feel like they're gelling pretty well as a tag team. Like, I want to see more of them working together in the ring, but the couple of matches that I have seen, they work well together. Plus, they both have that mean girls attitude, so the personality is there for it to work.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely want to see more of this tag team. I'm hoping that they both prove me wrong and they get leaps and bounds better in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Because personality-wise, it's starting to show that they got it, and I'm glad for that.
Wow. That's a
Uh,
yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I'm just catching you left field, ain't I?
Yeah. I'm surprised by all this. I'm really surprised by all the good stuff that you got to say about Aaliyah. I didn't know, but hey,
Uh, hey,
we're human.
like, you know what? That just goes to reinforce my point that I've been saying for weeks. Even if I think somebody's trash, prove me wrong. Prove that you can make it work somehow.
Yeah.
Like, if it's being in a tag team, or if you're in a tag team and it's not working, you're better as a single star. Prove me wrong. Lord knows that 3, 4 years ago, when Angelo Dawkins was struggling for TV time as a singles competitor, like I used to look at him and was like, yo, this guy is trash.
Mm-hmm.
Then he reemerged with Montez Ford as the Street Profits,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been working for him. They're hella over. The
Mm-hmm.
crowd loves them, and they're a very solid, capable tag team, both in the ring and on the mic, where they just bounce off of each other. Like, it feels like they should have been a tag team all along.
Right.
So, yeah, definitely
Yeah.
anybody who I've ever said is trash, prove me wrong.
Yeah. Pretty good match at the Street Profits. One thing I did like though, Morrow, he's always in tune to pop culture, and
Well, we didn't even get to the match yet, but yeah.
yeah. Oh well, yeah. Okay, I'll talk about that when we get to the match. Then I talk
Yeah,
about it then.
yeah, because the thing is, I mentioned Dawkins, and we kind of glossed over the match that we had in between, but yeah. So after this, we had another singles match. It was Danny Burch versus 1/3 of the Forgotten Sons, which is the man with the most WWE name ever, Jackson Riker.
Jackson Riker.
Sounds like a Mortal Kombat
It's a
character
Mortal
too.
Kombat character or something from what's that biker show? I never watched it. The show that what is the name of that show with all the bikers and with the leather jackets and everybody
What,
watched it.
Sons of Anarchy?
Sons of Anarchy. Yeah. He looks and sounds like something off of that. And I think that's what they were going for. I really think that's what they were trying to do with the Forgotten
I
Sons.
wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. Anyway,
Yeah.
so this match, you know, if you know anything about Danny Burch and you know anything about Jackson Riker, you can kind of envision how this match is going to play out.
Yeah.
Very hard-hitting affair.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, and Danny Burch is, I gotta say, he's tough as nails. He don't back down from anybody.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, I agree. It was a pretty good, hard hitting match, and I actually like what NXT is doing with the Forgotten Sons. Now they're not the best on the mic. No, they're not perfect in the ring, but they're giving them an opportunity to try to get better, and especially putting them in the ring with someone like that obviously will help them in the ring look better.
Yes.
And in NXT, to be honest with you, obviously it takes talent and for you to be a good wrestler, but sometimes it just takes one or two really good matches for the fans to get over, like for you. So
That's a
hopefully they put
fact.
them in some better matches,
That's a fact.
and I think this is a
Like
good
I'm,
opportunity.
yeah, like me personally, I'm not quite sold on the Forgotten Sons just yet as a unit or anything like that, or even Jackson Riker as a solo competitor, because as you see, it's usually Cutler and Blake that are tag teaming, and then Riker is usually the odd man out that does singles matches. So I'm not completely sold on them as a great stable, but between the last couple of matches with Jackson Riker and their performance in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, they're slowly winning me over.
Wow. Hey,
Like,
this is a revolution here because you're saying positive things about Aaliyah. Forgotten Sons are no longer forgotten to you. They're starting to win you over. Hey,
no, but I've been giving Forgotten Sons props for the past few weeks because of the tournament. That's really not anything new.
okay, all right. I wouldn't
Yeah,
doubt that.
because yeah, because remember I said that they actually impressed me when they beat Birch and Lorcan in a tournament.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So that wasn't exactly new, but yeah, like I said, they're slowly like if they keep going the way that they're going, they're gonna win me over eventually. But like it's a good start. In any case, the match was, as I was saying, hard hitting, very hard hitting affair with Riker and Cut, excuse me, no, Cutler and Blake, excuse me. On the outside, also Oni Lorcan on behalf of Danny Burch. I think there was a couple of spots where both parties on the outside got involved, and yeah, it ended up being Jackson Riker. I like his actually. I'm not gonna lie, I like his finisher, like that choke slam, sit out power bomb that he does.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever he calls it, I like that move. It's pretty cool. And yeah, he grabbed Burge and hit him with that choke slam, sit out power bomb. I'm saying spin out, it's sit out power bomb, and he won. So that was pretty dope. Now, on to the main event, because I know Press wants to talk about it. He kind of glossed over this match.
Yeah.
It was the main event was for the tag team division. It was the Street Profits versus another one of our favorite tag teams, Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel, aka European Union.
Oh, okay. I will go as far as to say this. They're probably my favorite tag team in NXT. Period. For me,
Across both brands, NXT and NXT UK.
yes. For me. And I know, I'm a big fan of Liverpool's number one, but I'm more so a fan of him than I am of Drake. But in this group, I like the both of them together. Like they're so good together in the ring, and it's
Yeah,
man, they're so good, so good.
yeah, because I mean, like, speaking of grizzled young veterans, uh, I'm inclined to agree with you. I like that team more because of Zach Gibson. Because I mean, it's not a knock on James Drake because James Drake is a hell of a wrestler. But let's be real here. Liverpool's number one's personality is what's carrying that team.
Hmm.
Anyway,
Yeah,
so
absolutely, I
that's
agree
just
with that,
just
man.
just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out there. We'll go ahead and we'll talk about the NXT UK Tag Team Champions later on.
Absolutely.
With NXT UK. So going back to EU.
Hmm.
I thought it was a travesty for them to lose so early in the tournament and the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic because they were arguably one of the better teams in that tournament.
Yeah, but you know with WWE when these tournaments come around, like the better wrestlers or who are considered or who are actually the better wrestlers and who are the worst wrestlers, all that stuff gets thrown out the window. Like it doesn't.
Facts.
Yeah, with when it comes to tournament, the best team usually does not win most of the time, excluding the Dusty World Classic that's been happening a couple of times. Like we can look at the Best in the World tournament. Shane McMahon won that. Out of all the wrestlers that was in that tournament, Shane McMahon won it.
He
And I
wasn't
know,
even in the tournament. He filled it at the end when the
yeah,
Miz
yeah,
allegedly got hurt.
he pulled the Becky Lynch Royal Rumble thing, and I get it. You know, it's entertaining and stuff like that. But if you want to go by who's the best wrestler, that's definitely not Shane McMahon. But those things do happen in WWE, and I agree with you. European Union is like probably one of the best teams that was in that, or is the best team that was in that tournament. I agree with that 1,000%. And they shouldn't have lost that early. But I guess when I went into that tournament, I already knew UK people weren't going to make it that far. Which
Yeah.
EU is probably no longer UK. I guess they're kind of both.
Nah,
So
because the thing is, like, they flip back and forth just like Birch and Lorcan.
yeah, they pretty much do.
Like, I think eventually they're gonna try to merge, like the tag team division as a whole. I don't know, but we'll see.
Hmm.
But definitely, yeah, EU, Marcel Bartel, Fabian Eichner, hell of a team. And honestly, like I don't know, I'm not familiar with how they were in the Indies if they tagged before the NXT UK, but man, have they gelled pretty quickly as a tag team.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Oh, and what I was saying earlier, okay, about Moro. I'm not saying anything that's brand new that other people have not noticed as they're watching him doing like commentating and stuff like that. That he's like pretty in tune with like hip hop and entertainment and pop culture and
Yeah,
stuff like
pop
that.
culture.
Yeah, and I was surprised that there's one part that made me chuckle is that he said one member of the Street Profits. I can't remember who he said. I think he said Angelo Dawkins. He said that he was like, "Oh, he's serving it up like a star tender, giving them the num num juice." I'm like, what do you know about the star tenders and how does he know about Num Num Juice? And those who's listening, if you don't know, that's a new single by Schoolboy Q. He just came out with a song called Num Num Juice. So I just have to give Morrow some props for being so in tune
Yeah, he
about
said
what's going
yeah,
on in
he
hip
said
hop,
that
man.
for Dawkins.
Yeah,
Yep.
he said it for Dawkins. I thought it was funny, but like you said, I like the match. This is an amazing match. Street Profits. I think they're up next. I really think they are. For those tag titles, and I think it's
You
coming up
think
soon.
so?
Yes, they have to be. There's nothing. There's no. I can't think of any other way they can go with
Yeah,
this.
there's no other tag team to go after them unless you want to throw UE back into the mix.
Yeah, and I highly doubt that, and, because they lost because they just lost to the Street Profits. So I think that's just giving them some levity for their team, which they really don't need that. But I think that they're up next. They will have to be, even if they don't win the titles. They should be up next for a shot. They really deserve it at this point.
Facts, facts. Yeah, Street Profits are one of my favorite tag teams. Honestly, like I would say a lot of my favorite tag teams in WWE come from the NXT side.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because and when I say NXT side, I'm talking about here in the US and UK. Because my favorite tag teams would be, and I'm not ranking them right now. That would be a whole nother that would be a whole nother podcast, like ranking our favorite tag teams in WWE. But definitely my favorite tag teams, including all brands,
Mhm.
the Usos, of course,
Mhm.
the OGs. You gotta have the Hardys in there.
Mhm.
Also, I'm a fan of the Bar. What's it called? These guys too. I don't think they're gonna be on a team much longer. Black and Ricochet.
Yeah, I think that's not gonna last forever.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
European Union,
Mhm.
Street Profits,
Mhm.
UE, the Coffee Brothers,
Mhm.
and oh, Grizzled Young Veterans, of course.
Mhm.
War Raiders, they're all right, but I really don't consider them like one of my favorite tag teams.
They're not my
Like my,
favorite. They're just really entertaining.
yeah, like they're fun to watch, but yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't consider War Raiders like one of my favorite tag teams.
Yeah, of course not. I wouldn't consider them one of mine either.
Yep. Oh, how can I forget these guys? The top guys, the Revival.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the way they've been
Man,
looking lately, I mean they're great. It's just the booking that's kind of kind of,
Yeah, but then that was because they shot themselves in both feet.
basically.
But in any case, so I digress here. The match ends with Street Profits picking up the victory with a combination of an electric chair drop and a blockbuster off the top rope,
Mm-hmm.
which is a great finish. Oh, and mind you, I forgot. Yeah, there was a point where Bartel, I think he kicked Dawkins down like a big boot, and then you see Eichner. I love when he does this. Eichner goes, he springboards onto the top rope in front of him. From there, he bounces to the adjacent top rope, and he does a moonsault.
Oh yeah, I did see that. That was pretty good.
That boy is hella athletic. My
Absolutely.
God,
He got
I
hops out of this
love when he
world.
does that. Yeah, this guy, and mind you, this guy is not light. He's like 230 pounds, and he can still fly like a cruiserweight.
He's so good, man. He's so athletic. It's ridiculous.
Man, Eichner is hella good. Oh my God. Like, it's scary to think that 3 years ago he was in the Cruiserweight Classic.
It is. And you look at
Yeah.
him, he doesn't even he looks a lot bigger than what he actually is.
hmm
But yeah, this is UE, pretty good team. Like one of my favorites in WWE
EU,
right now.
bro. EU.
Oh, EU. Who's UE? Oh, Undisputed Era. It's
Yeah,
so many
undisputed.
acronyms, man. That's the same. They gotta change
They
that.
gotta change that. But anyway, at the end of the day, NXT was very solid this week. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't know about you, but I'm gonna give it an A minus.
Yeah, I think I will give it A minus. There wasn't anything negative about this show by any means.
And going back now because they showed a few interview segments, after Takeover.
Mhm.
I think Carmine's right, and they're gonna end up kicking Roddy out of UE.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, because I mean, honestly, I would like for him to stay because he fits so well with the dynamic of the group. Like he looks right with them.
Hmm.
But at the same time, if they do decide to pull the trigger on that, it does not surprise me one bit because let's be real, Cole, Fish, and O'Reilly came in together,
Hmm.
and Roddy is really the outsider in that group.
Hmm.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they pull a typical heel move and they blame all of their misfortune of late on Roddy.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either.
But definitely NXT was great this week. I can't wait for more, especially for next week. Because I don't recall if they confirmed any matches. Wait, next week is gonna be the match that we finally been dying to see, right? Keith Lee and Dijakovic.
I hope it happens.
It
I
better
really do.
happen.
I
I've
really
been
hope it
waiting.
happens.
Yeah, we've been waiting what, like 5 weeks now for this match?
Yeah, I'm not gonna believe it until I see them actually in the ring and then hit
And
the
it
belt.
was supposed to be on the takeover card.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm not gonna believe it till I actually see them in the ring wrestling.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get hype until I actually see them, like, put up the title card. Oh, Lee versus Dijakovic coming up next, or later tonight, or whatever. That's when I'll get excited.
Yeah, absolutely.
But in any case, now let's go ahead and move over to the black and gold brand across the pond.
Pond
Yes, across the pond, mate.
UK.
Anyway, yeah, so if you're going to put two and two together, we're going to talk about NXT UK this week, which this one I actually took notes on because it was actually a pretty solid card.
Mhm.
So, beginning of the show, they showed a video package, basically recapping the feud between Tony Storm and Ginny.
Mhm.
And after that, after the NXT UK intro, which I like that intro, it's very cool, do you see the right into action? First match is the Kiwi Buzzsaw, Travis Banks, versus Cassius Knockout Artist Ono, or whatever the hell you want to call him. So, I'm going to let you talk first about this match. Let me hear your thoughts on it.
Okay, first and foremost, I'm gonna say I said this last week and I'm gonna say it again. I absolutely love what NXT UK is doing with Cassius Ohno. Cause it's just like a refreshing thing. You can tell, like I said before, that he knows that this possibly could be his final moment to show what he's worth and to kind of show his abilities and things like that. So his character as a heel and the way he trolls the crowd, the way he was trolling the Kiwi Buzzsaw in that match, like in the middle of the ring, and he's like, "Come on, do something." And then and the Kiwi Buzzsaw tried to hit him after he bounced off the ropes, and it did nothing. And then Cassius Ono hit him, like stuff like that. Just how antagonizing and irritating Cassius Ono is being over there in the UK, especially being a foreigner. It's hilarious. I love every bit of it, and I think this was.
It was funny. He was like, "I didn't even feel you."
He said, "I didn't even feel you. I didn't even feel." I'm like, this guy is the biggest troll, no pun intended, in NXT UK right now, and I love what they're doing with this guy. I mean, it's so much better than what he was doing in NXT. Even though he's not Chris Hero per se, by size and by ability. Yes, that stuff diminishes over time, but he looks a lot better here than he did over at the original Black and Gold brand. But let's get to the match. The match itself was great. I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot, actually.
Yes.
More than I thought it would.
I agree. Like, I was kind of dragging my feet to watch this match, but it was a fun match.
He kept calling him out. I mean,
yeah.
What you thought was going to happen? It was bound to happen, but...
I love when after, and this was right after that spot that I mentioned earlier, that he's like, "Oh, I didn't even feel you."
Mm-hmm.
And then, what's his name? Basically, Banks told him, to charge at him, and he stomped on both his feet instead of running the ropes.
That was funny.
He was like, "Really? You really thought I was gonna do that?" Oh yeah. Like, honestly, I could hear Daniel Bryan's voice in that segment. Fickle. like, you really thought I was gonna do that? You're gullible as hell. But yeah, it was a fun match, lots of back and forth, and Banks wins via roll up out of all things. But hey, a win is a win. You feel me?
Yeah, that's a protective win. It didn't make Cassius Ohno look bad. So
yeah, like he's actually, I agree. He looks a lot better now than he did 6 months ago on regular NXT because he was just jobbing out.
He looks like he cares this time. He looks like he cares. Like it's amazing.
Yeah, I feel like he's probably looking at it like, you know what? This is a fresh start for me. This brand is still developing. I can help out a lot here.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, yeah, he's antagonizing and so on and so forth when he's on TV, but keep in mind, that's only a character. Like, I'm pretty sure that me going out on a limb here isn't too far from the truth that Cassius Ohno, Chris Hero, however you know him, he's probably a really nice guy in real life, and he really wants to help these young kids out.
I wouldn't be surprised. Hopefully he got to a realization that maybe he's not going to the main roster, and that's absolutely fine. I mean, it's a lot better than...
Exactly.
Like I keep saying, being in an independent scene for some low-class promotion. Not saying that these other ones are, but there's some Yankee ones out there that make you wrestle for a cheeseburger and $5. So at least he's not doing that.
Exactly. At least he's actually getting a decent paycheck. And plus, even so, Triple H himself has said it that he wants to make the Black and Gold brand a legitimate brand in that it can, like, you can actually make a career in NXT as opposed to it being a revolving door of talent.
Yeah, Aaliyah's definitely doing that.
Yeah, hey, she might be the very first one to be tenured.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, because I don't know if we covered it on the review of TakeOver last week, but Johnny TakeOver is officially NXT's first Triple Crown champion.
Yes, we got two Triple Crowns in that weekend.
Yep.
Gargano and Kofi.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because Kofi he did everything before winning the WWE Championship. Yeah, so definitely, I know that's digressing here, but I just had to put it out there. Congratulations, Johnny TakeOver, Johnny Wrestling, for being NXT's first Triple Crown champion. Hey, it was a long road for him to get to the championship, but when he finally did, he set another record because can't nobody take that away from him, that he's their first Triple Crown champion.
I'm going to go on a limb and I'm going to say something, a scathing hot take, that Gargano, even at this point, I know people who's listening, he has not made it to the main roster. I completely understand that, but at this point, if you just watch this guy, To me, in my personal opinion, this is personal. This isn't Bible. He is one of the greatest in WWE history, in my personal opinion. I watch a lot of other wrestling. I have never seen a talent like this guy in the ring. And I know we're digressing from the UK, but I will just say that I haven't seen anybody tell a story in the ring like Gargano does. This guy is extremely talented. He's like one in a million type of wrestlers. And I know I'm deriding, but I've never seen anybody like this guy. Like, period. In the ring.
Bro, he can
He's
freestyle.
so ridiculous.
He can freestyle a story in the ring, and you'll still fall in love with it.
Nobody has that ability. Nobody has that ability. So
he truly is one of a kind.
He absolutely is.
But in any case, enough singing Johnny Gargano praises, because there's plenty of time to do that.
Absolutely.
So, getting back to the black and gold across the pond. Next up after the Banks and Ono match was the debut of Piper Niven, who faced off against a returning Killer Kelly.
Killer Kelly.
Which, honestly, I was wondering where the hell she went. I don't know if she was hurt or whatever. Anyway, so this match wasn't really too impressive. It was borderline a squash match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Niven won pretty easily. And then Rhea Ripley comes out, acts like she's going to attack Piper Niven, but just walks off. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it.
Yeah, this match was just to insert or even just birth a feud between the two. Yeah, the match was cool. It wasn't bad. It was another big person versus small person match again. And I can't wait to see what type of match Piper Niven is going to have against Rhea Ripley. I think that's going to be a really good match. A lot better than we think.
Hey, I'm calling a hot take audible here, and I'm going to say that this match that we're going to see, Niven Ripley, has the potential to be the NXT UK women's version of Dennis versus Mastiff.
It can honestly end up being a classic, and I understand a lot of people who are Tony fans. I've been watching Toni Storm for a long time, and I understand she's extremely talented. But the type of match that Piper Niven can have with Rhea Ripley is not the match that you can get out of a Toni Storm versus Rhea Ripley. Like the match we got with Pete Dunne versus Walter is not a match you can get with either one of those guys and someone else. So
yeah,
I can't wait to see this match.
Yeah, you can't get that match between Pete Dunne and Walter if you have Pete Dunne facing off against Jordan Devlin.
Anybody, you're not gonna get that match. It's not gonna happen.
The closest thing to it, and it's still a pretty far margin, is the match he had with Joe Coffey.
Yeah, I mean that's as close as you can get. But I don't even think it's at the point where I don't even think Pete Dunne and Walter can even repeat that match again.
Like I said, like it's the closest thing, but there's still a wide margin.
Yeah, pretty wide. Not too bad, but yeah, it's pretty wide.
But in any case, so we digress here and now. After this, we had your boy cut a promo.
Finally. Yes. That's all I ask. NXT UK, you can do whatever you want throughout the show. That's all I ask. Put your boy on there. I know he was at WrestleMania, so it didn't make any sense for him not to show up on TV today. And I know the two different cities has nothing to do with each other, but I'm just saying. Put the man on TV. Even if he doesn't wrestle. Just put him on TV. It's not that hard to do. It really isn't. But I'm happy every time I see Liverpool's number one on the screen. Yeah, Drake's cool. I'm happy he's there too. Whatever. But when Liverpool's number one's on the screen, it's one of my favorite episodes of NXT UK.
Facts. That's all you gotta do, UK.
That's it.
Just have Liverpool's number one there, and you'll have a top show every week.
Absolutely. The guy is great.
Yes. So basically, he just laid down the challenge on behalf of himself and James Drake. He's saying, and he said, Yankees need not apply. So he threw the gauntlet down specifically for the NXT UK tag team division.
Exclusive tag team.
Exclusive. I'm curious which team is going to step up to the plate.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's not Mustache Mountain.
For the love of God, no.
I really hope it's not.
I love them, but no, enough is enough.
Yeah, we've
That,
seen
like,
we've seen that, but I think I know who's going to
let's
be.
have a match. Who do you think?
The good luck. That's probably gonna be the ones who step up. That good
Oh,
luck's gonna
yeah, Kenny Williams and Amir
Amir.
Jordan.
Yep. I think that's gonna happen, and I think that's gonna be the good luck that's gonna make them lose that title. Unfortunately, I don't want to see them
I
do that
wouldn't
to
be
my
so
guy, but it's probably
I
gonna
wouldn't be
happen.
surprised. But here's the match I want to see. Grizzled young veterans versus European Union.
Yeah. Wait, did they actually get to have that match yet? Remember they were supposed to have some type of. Did that happen
What against who?
against the E?
No, they were supposed to fight Birch and Lorcan. That happened already.
But I thought there was supposed to be something with European Union facing the Grizzled Young Vets at some point.
I don't recall that ever being in the cards, but I
Hmm.
do want to see that match.
No, it wasn't a card. It was mentioned. Like somebody said something to that degree, and that's why like when we did the review of Carmine, when he was like talking about how European Union shouldn't have lost at the Dusty Road Classic. That's why I kept saying like, oh, they got something better going on at NXT UK. So even though they lost that match,
Well,
they'll be okay.
well, yeah. I think it was just basically you saying that for my, I guess you could say, peace of mind, because it's like because I was really hot on EU, progressing in the tournament,
Hmm.
but you was like, what, don't worry, because they're gonna do better things in UK. So, like I said, WWE, if you're listening, please make that match happen. GYV versus EU.
Yeah, that'd be. Oh, and I will say this about Piper Niven. I know listeners. I know we're hopping around a lot and we're going back and forth and we're just whatever. We don't usually do this. Uh,
Well, we haven't really gotten to the next match, so yeah, you can kind of backtrack to Piper Niven.
Yeah, I'll just say this real quick. The spot that Piper Niven's in right now, and I'm extremely happy that she's in NXT UK. I love Piper Niven. She's great. She's losing weight, everything like that. She's doing whatever she needs to do to get in there. I'm proud of her. The only thing I would say is not negative against her, but remember before when I said I wish they would have put Mia Yim in NXT UK and have her just kind of work there for a little bit and then come back to NXT once this whole thing
Hmm.
with Shayna Baszler is over. She could have been what Piper Niven is doing right now. That would have been a perfect spot for her to end up in a feud with Rhea Ripley. That would have been great for Mia Yim, and then she could
And
have
this is
came back.
this is probably why they haven't brought her over more.
Yeah, and that would have been perfect even if she lost the feud, at least do something in the UK up until Shayna Baszler loses that belt, because until she loses that belt, it's gonna kind of be like the main roster. They're not gonna be really looking at Mia Yim in the title spot because they have this whole thing with Io Shirai and Kairi Sane and Bianca
Yeah.
Belair. So Mia's gonna be on the
Basically, yeah,
outskirts.
it's basically the women's division on the main roster all over again, where
Yeah.
Ronda had the Raw title hostage.
Yes, it's pretty much going to be like that, and I feel bad for Mia. So I wish she
Because
can do
she's
something.
hella talented.
She is absolutely.
So after that, after the Grizzled Young Veterans promo where they laid down the gauntlet, we had another singles match, which, yeah, every match this week on NXT UK is a singles match. We had Jack Stars. Yeah, so surprisingly, he's okay after Walter destroyed his
Yeah,
chest.
he has both of his lungs. That's pretty crazy.
Yes, they healed up nicely. So Jack Stars versus Joseph Connors.
Hmm.
Fairly competitive match. Jack Stars got some good offense in here and there. Now, not much to talk about here because the match is pretty short. So Joseph Connors ends up winning when he reverses a high cross body attempt from Jack Stars. He catches him and he converts it into his finisher, the Don't Look Down.
Hmm.
Which, if you look at it, is basically like a high angle DDT, cradle DDT.
Hmm.
So, I mean, it's a pretty cool finisher, but yeah, I don't really see them doing much with Joseph Connors at this moment.
Yeah, I don't. I guess it was good to give him a win under his belt, but to beat somebody who literally got destroyed by Walter, I don't know how much.
It's kind of bittersweet because it's like, yeah, you got a win in on your win-loss record,
Hmm.
but it's a win that doesn't have much merit.
Yeah, I feel so bad for Jack Stars, man. Oh my god, he's
After Walter destroyed him, it was like, oh my God.
yeah.
He
Somebody got
went
to
away for
lose.
like Hey, he went away for like a month and he came back to lose again.
Yeah, somebody got to lose, man, and I guess he's taking the role for that. So salute to him. I mean, I got a lot of respect for that. After taking the chop like that and actually coming back, I would have been done after that. That would have been my last match. I'm
Hey,
sorry.
honestly, I think he's looking at it from the perspective of anyone but Walter.
Yeah, I think he's a lot happier now about the fact that he's
Yeah,
not getting chopped in the chest.
yeah, he doesn't have to worry about his lungs being caved in.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So, so after that, we had a vignette play that was to announce that our boy Dave Mastiff is coming back soon.
None of my parents ever said I loved me, not once, because I was a failure.
Yeah, he's like, look what you made me.
I'm
So
happy to see him back.
yeah, I'm happy to see him back in the ring. I don't really want to see him talk though.
Yeah.
In any case, so I'm pretty sure this was way before, but and we just glossed over it. But the Irish Ace is staking his claim for the NXT UK Championship.
I don't think that's a good idea. Not at this point. Did he realize who's attached to that belt right now?
He said he doesn't care who the champion is, which, yeah, I think if he were to step to Walter, he's going to regret
He's
saying
not gonna
that.
remember who's the champion after he get out that match. Like it ain't gonna matter if he cares or not. Oh my god, that's not a good
Anyway,
idea.
Jordan Devlin, please just bide your time.
Yeah,
Wait,
it's not a good idea,
because
man.
it won't end well for you if you confront Walter. It won't.
It's not a good idea.
It's not a good
He
idea at
obviously
all.
hasn't
He
seen
will
that Pete
destroy you.
Dunne match at the Takeover.
Anyway, so moving on, we have our main event for NXT UK this week. It is you guessed it, as I said earlier, it's a one-on-one match for the NXT UK Women's Championship.
Mm-hmm.
My
Mm-hmm.
girl, my girl, Ginny
Mm-hmm.
versus Tony Storm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna let you talk first about this match.
All right, so I thought the match was actually pretty good. Jenny had a really good showing in this match. She's really the thing is about Jenny, other than the fact that she got that face like the coworker that likes to tell on everybody, but other than that, she's really really clean in the ring. Like she's really clean. I even when she went for the Hurricanrana, all the transitions into different moves, she's like really really smooth. I know that was obvious before, but it was more apparent because this match was a lot longer than her previous match. But I thought this match was actually pretty good. I liked it. I liked it a lot. And it's made Jenny look really, really strong. And I'm hoping we get a rematch with these two.
I agree. I thought it was a phenomenal match. Lots of counters and close calls, especially since these two know each other very well. For they faced off apparently many times in Shimmer and other independent promotions around the world.
Yeah,
So
they brought it
they
up.
know each other.
They brought it up
They
about
do.
Progress and Shimmer.
Yeah.
I didn't know I didn't know they can mention Shimmer in WWE, but I know they can mention Progress. But that's a good thing to say, to notate.
I think I think in the UK they might have a couple of they might have more leniency on mentioning indie companies, but anyway,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they did face off in multiple promotions. You know, those two, Progress and Shimmer, being two of the foremost promotions that they faced off in before, and like I said, it just shows that their feud is one that you don't even need to give them lines to say. They can bring it to life on their own because of how well they know each other.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just it's really it comes down to just playing human chess, for lack of a better phrase, because it's like you know your opponent so well, you know what they're going to do usually before they even do it, or
Mm-hmm.
they get close to doing it. So you're already thinking 3, 4, 5 moves ahead, where you're trying to counter and think of a way to get the upper hand.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, those are the best matches when there's that familiarity between the two contenders. Plus, the familiarity just makes it go and elevate it even more to where it becomes even more phenomenal just seeing both of the competitors shine.
Absolutely. I definitely agree.
Yep. So, with that being said, the match ended with Toni Storm retaining the NXT UK Women's Championship. And this was after Ginny tried to pull an Adam Cole, per se, and beat Toni Storm with her own move of Storm Zero.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she tried to do it. Toni reversed it. I think she like slipped under her or something, and ended up catching her with the Storm Zero of her own, and that was the end of it.
Yep, pretty good match. Pretty good match.
Very good match. I'm looking forward to. I want to see more. Like I said, I hope that we can see a matchup between, say, Killer Kelly, or oh, you know what? Not even. I want to see Kaylee Ray and Ginny go at it. I think that would be a great match.
That would be an interesting match. Absolutely.
Yes, because they both have that mean streak to them.
I agree.
How even Ginny versus, well, actually, yeah, I think they already did this one. Ginny versus Isla Dawn already happened. So I want a fresh matchup of Ginny versus Kaylee Ray.
Ginny versus Kaylee Ray. Okay. I'm not mad at that match at
Yes,
all.
yes, WWE, we know you're listening because you often steal our ideas. Book the match.
Absolutely.
But anyway, that's gonna be the end of NXT UK and essentially the end of our triple header podcast here. Preston Brown, what would you rate NXT UK this week?
I would give it a. I'll give it a B. I will give it a B.
B?
Yeah, I was gonna give it a C plus, but since Liverpool #1 made an appearance, they get a B.
Mm, yeah, I'm gonna give it a couple grades above that. I'm gonna give it an A minus.
Okay,
Again,
I'm not mad at
it's
that.
because it's because Liverpool's #1, you know, was on the show that he tipped it up in their favor. Plus, the matches, with the exception of
The Connor match.
the, you know what? Yeah, because even the Piper, honestly, I would throw in the Piper Niven match too,
Yeah,
because it was borderline a squash match. Not much was showcased.
yeah,
So, you know, 2 out of 4 matches that were great is pretty solid. But yeah, that promo between, that promo with what's his name, Liverpool's #1, and then also the ballsy promo from Jordan Devlin.
hmm
To me, that threw it up even more because it was just like, hey, bro, you got a lot of balls to be challenging whoever the champion is. He said, I don't care who the champion is, I want the title shot.
absolutely. I
So,
agree.
yep, that wraps up our triple header, y'all.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for listening. This was, once again, just to let you guys know, this is with the Undisputed Champ Sports Podcast. Please follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Just look up Undisputed Champ Sports Podcast on whatever social media platform you guys are using. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment to let us know if you agree or disagree, or let us know what you guys think about the podcast in its entirety. Thank you guys for listening. I am Preston, and that is the one and only Thumbs Up Tommy. You guys have a good week. Peace.
Peace.